This will be segment number 5. This machine here is used to assist veterans that have more of a difficulty to move from one place to another. So we would, at this point, take a wheelchair and attach it to this machine. I'll be turning the machine so to make it a little simpler, so you can see how it's attached. You can come over to this side. Now, what we would do is get the wheelchair that usually are larger, wider span, and we would back up the wheelchair towards the machine. Now, what you would do is attach either side first of the rim of the wheelchair in the back, right to the center of the bar, then bring it in. Then the other side, what you would do is take this lever, which is back here, and you would press down, and that would lock in the wheelchair. At that point, then that's when you would actually get the veteran and assist the veteran to sit down in the wheelchair. After they sit down, you would bring down the footrest, and once they're ready, then we would go back to the rear part of the machine. Knowing that it's locked already, it would not unlock because there's a safety to it. And then what we would do is put on the machine. The machine goes on with the button, but it will not operate unless you have the key to it. So once you place the key back into the slot, you turn it upward, put on the machine, then you have 2 buttons here. One would be a turtle, which the pace will be much slower, especially for those individuals that are just learning how to use the machine while they're in training. Or it would be rabbit once you've already learned how to move the machine. Now, the good part of this machine is that it would not cause you to actually push real hard like you would normally if you were just pushing a heavier person and having to use the ball of your feet to push where you could injure yourself. With this machine, what it does is once you put it on, you would press the right lever and it would help the wheelchair just move. Once the patient's in there, it makes it so much easier. It's almost like running a lawnmower. You would just make sure that whenever you're pushing the wheelchair, you will look to both sides if there's a crossroad and make sure that you're not going to interfere with another veteran or another wheelchair or so. So it also has a button where just before you make a turn and you're clear, you make sure no one else is coming by that you would perhaps injure that other person or the patient that you have in a wheelchair. Once you finish taking the patient to his area, then again, you would make sure shut off the wheelchair and shut the button off. Okay, this is segment number 6. Now, in this segment, you're not only using a wheelchair to bring a patient upstairs, you're also using the machine that would assist you to take that patient upstairs who may be just a little heavier than a normal patient. So what you would do is, again, just like previously with the regular wheelchair, you would use this, you would put it on rabbit, and you would maneuver the wheelchair backwards with the patient. Now, with this maneuver, you have to be very careful to make sure that you do not push the wheelchair all the way back and sort of like trap yourself in it where you could hurt yourself. What you would do is move to the side and continue bringing the wheelchair towards the rear. Once it clears the front of that patient's foot. This is to make sure that you don't injure the patient's foot at any time. Once you finish, then again, you would come to the rear part of the wheelchair. You would bring the wheelchair forward, clear the doors, and then take the patient wherever they need to go. This will be segment number 7. In the same manner that we showed you how to attach a wheelchair, this one will teach you how to detach the wheelchair from the actual assistance of the machine. So what you would do is once the patient is off the wheelchair and you have it where you brought up the footrest, you will come back to the back part of the wheelchair, you make sure that it's completely off. That's not operational at all. Make sure the key is also turned off. So what you would do is press the lever in the beginning that you have here. Press down on the actual locking system. Bring it up. Bring this up. This would allow you then to detach the wheelchair itself from one side. Then you would maneuver it to the left side of it or the right. And this way you will have the wheelchair free from the machine. Then you would take the machine at the end once you finish using it, and you will return it to its proper area and plug it in and make sure that it remains charged at all times. This machine is not to be used by patients or any other staff other than the patient relation person or the concierge, and also the volunteers that have been trained by it.